cloud.
Mike's already got a question.
Okay, yeah, we will get to that. I think it's recording.
Yeah, I see a red dot.
Okay, perfect. So basically, once FBS discovered that everyone was going to be doing things on mobile devices, they ended up coming out with the quick search, which is substantially more mobile friendly. So as the years kind of went on, any new accounts that came on did not have full search. They only had access to the quick search. So as more time went on, they kind of just stopped altogether supporting the full search option. So they finally decided to sunset that option, which brings us to today with quick search. So there's a couple of things we're going to start off with. We're going to start off with kind of the basics of quick search. You guys being able to just do your business like normal, and then we'll get into some more of the advanced features of quick search. So the first thing I want to show you is inside of quick search. Right now, all of these fields are collapsed, which I personally do not care for. So if I want to go ahead and add something in, I have to click and then open it up. I am not a fan of that. You actually can go in, there's a setting I'm going to show you where it'll automatically open all of these for you. I personally find it a lot easier to see and utilize when everything's already open for me. So I'm just going to go to menu. I'm going to go down to preferences, and then I'm going to go to general preferences. Once I'm in here, the very top box, settings affecting search results, the last option is expand all fields for quick searches. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a checkbox in there, go down to the bottom, click on save. So now when I go back to quick search, you'll notice that all these are now open for me. I just find that a lot easier to kind of see what's going on by having all those pre-open for me. The other thing I wanted to show you before we get into the actual searching is the default map. The default map is centered over Milwaukee and Waukesha counties. It's kind of my office is kind of at the center point of this. Obviously, you're from the Ozaki Realtors Association, so you probably would want your map to start more up in the Ozaki area. So if we go to menu, scroll down to preferences, click on default map, this is where it's going to allow us to actually change where our default map starts. So on the bottom of our toolbar here, we have three different options. The first is the hand. It just allows me to click on my screen, drag my mouse, and move my screen around. The next option is zoom in. So if I click on my zoom in and click on my screen, it zooms in for me. I also can use the slide bar on the left-hand side here. The last one is the rectangle. This is where I'm going to draw out my new shape for my starting point. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my rectangle. I'm just going to left click where I want my new shape to start, drag out my shape to where I need it to be, double left click to tell the system that I'm done drawing, and then in the upper right hand corner, I'm going to click on save. So now when I go back into quick search, all of my fields are open here, and my map now starts off where I had drawn it out to be. So I just find that a little bit easier, especially if you're working up in those different areas. So when it comes to utilizing quick search, pretty much every one of these fields that's crash printed in here are going to be those fields that which you're used to seeing on the main fields tab inside of full search. The big difference is instead of having all those individual tabs and then subcategories within those tabs, in order to add additional criteria that's not crash printed in here, I can just go down to the bottom here and click add a field to the search. So here I can type in whatever I'm looking for, or I can literally just scroll through this map here or this box here, grabbing what I'm looking for. So the question came up is how do I find specific agents? So I can just type in the word agent. Hang on, let's do it this way. So if I type in the word listing, it brings up the member here. So I can go click on listing / selling member, click on that, and then it gives me my little box here to search. So if I wanted to search for Didier, I can just type in Didier, click on find, and it gives me all my options for Didier. Then I can select if I want them as the listing member or as the selling member, or I can leave them both selected for both. Okay, does that make sense, Mike? Yeah, okay. I see a head nod. So basically, I can add whatever field I want to from here. And if I'm not quite sure what I'm looking for, or where to find it. So let's say you're working with someone that is interested in having a hobby farm. I can just type in the word hobby, and it's going to bring up all of my options for hobby farm for me. So from here, I can go ahead and select the different options for hobby farm, different types. Or if they just want a hobby farm in general, I can just click on hobby farm, and you can see it brings it over to the left-hand side here for me. The other nice thing about this is it does have all the different family type templates. So at the upper left-hand corner, this is the single family one. If I use the drop down, I can select a 2-family, vacant land, multifamily, condominium, commercial industrial, or all categories. Just keep in mind, whatever the last one you selected, it's going to remember that next time you come in. So if you're working with vacant land and you go out and you come back in and you need to do single family and you can't find the single family options, it's because you would need to come in and just adjust this drop down. What I really like about this is it actually allows me to create my own custom templates. So if I have a niche that I do in the marketplace, or if I have fields that I search on constantly that aren't part of this crash printed menu tree here, I can go in and add those and change the order. So we're going to go through how to do that. We're going to go to menu, go down to preferences, and under preferences, we're going to go to my quick searches. So once in here, these are all the quick searches that you currently have available to you. Anything with inherited after it, those are templates that we as the MLS have created for you. Or they could be ones that your office account created. And then anything that does not have inherited next to it, those are ones that I've created myself. So I can do new, I can edit an existing one, I can remove one, or if I go through and make a template out and someone wants a carbon copy of it from your office, you can click on give to someone, type in their name, and it'll give them a carbon copy of that file. So we're just gonna go ahead and just click on new. First thing we're going to do is give it a name. I'm just going to call this one ORA test. You can put down with the property type. We're just going to do this one for single family, and we're going to leave it at full listing view. Then I'm going to click on next. So here are all the available fields for the single family. So I can go through and I can click on it and then click my add, or I can go through, click on them, and if you are a PC user, if you hold on your control key, it's going to allow you to select multiples at a time. If you are a Mac user, it's going to be your command key. So I'm going to go ahead and select my county contingent, which is the active with offer, county. Let's grab some of these estimated fields. Just going to grab a couple of things just so I can show you what this looks like in the end. List price. Municipality. So I've selected a couple. I'm going to click on add, and now you see it adds them over to the right-hand side here. If I wanted to, I could add section headers just to help kind of organize what I'm doing. So if I wanted just to say interiors, I could click on add, and I can take these and I can move them up or down on the right-hand side here just by selecting what I want. I clicked on remove on that one. That's okay. So I can move up, move back down, so I can order these in whatever order I want to. Okay. The one I find very useful for people, especially if you're kind of working in working with like lakefront or water frontage properties, is if you just type in the word water, I can add all of these different features for water frontage, which makes it really easy for me if I work with a lot of people that are looking for water frontage. So I'm gonna click on add, and now when I go ahead and save this right here, I'm gonna go back to my quick search. I'm going to use my drop down here, go down to my ORA test. And now you see it fills in everything that I created on that template. So I can create, where can I find sold date? We'll get to that in 1 second. So from here, I can go ahead and use whatever criteria I want, or I can go ahead and add additional fields in from right here if there's something I didn't have on this one. The other nice thing about using the quick search is I don't have to select a county if I don't want to. So let's say I just want Grafton. I can just go into municipality, type in Grafton, and select it. Right below where it says see all, If I click on see all, it's going to open up and show me every single municipality. And I can select them from here, and I would click on finish when done. Or I can narrow this down by adding a county in. So if I went to county and added Ozaki, now when I go to see all, it's just going to give me those options for Ozaki County. I can select multiple counties. I can go ahead and add another one in, so I can start typing in Washington. Or if I click the see all, it's going to give me a box with every single county in the state of Wisconsin, and I can go ahead and just add those in, clicking on finish when I'm done. So the question came in, where can I find sold date? So in that add a field to the search, type in the word sold, and then from the box here on the right-hand side, click on sold date. This field is accessible by clicking see all. Okay, gotcha. Let me go back to a single family because I don't have dates in here. So single family. So if I want to put in sold dates, right below here, once I click on sold, there's see all and select date ranges. So if I click the select date ranges, it's going to open up this little box here for me. You'll see it in two different ways. I prefer this way, just doing days back. There's these two arrows pointing in opposite directions from each other. If I go ahead and click on that, it changes it to the calendar dates. And if I click it, it takes it back to, I can just put back how many days I want to go. So if I only want to see the last 30 days, I could just put in 30, and then it's just going to look at the last 30 days for me. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, that is quick search basics. Hopefully it doesn't seem as scary as it did beforehand. Adam, I see that face. Can't figure out how to search single family and condo at the same time. Full search, just highlighted both. Okay, so what you're gonna do, if you wanna search on multiple property types, you're gonna go, you have a couple of ways to do it. First of all, under property type at the top here, so single family selected. If I go down to condominium, I'm gonna hold down my control key for PC users, or again, the command key for Mac users. So I can hold that down, click on condominium, and now you see I've got single family and condominium selected. Just keep in mind that since we're using single family up here for our field types, only the single family options are going to be available in here. There is, however, from this drop down, all categories. So if I click on all categories, it's going to give me the basics that all of them share. And I can go through again and change.
Hello, Mark Burgoyne speaking. Paul Banker, may I help you?
All right, okay, we're going to mute Mark. So now, again, I've got single family and condominium. It gives me the very, very basics because it's looking at all the fields that are shared. So you're better off if you're going to be searching both at the same time, going to single family and then just highlighting on the condominiums, because that way you're going to have bedrooms, bathrooms, all those kinds of things. Okay. If I wanted to add another field, I can go ahead and do that. Just keep in mind when you are searching multiple property types at the same time, one field may give you 0 results for the other type. So if I'm looking at single family and condominium, and I go ahead and add in, let's say the condo fee, and I put in a condo fee range. Well, since the single family houses wouldn't have that as an option, it's going to kick out all those single family options. So if you are searching multiples at a time, just keep that in mind. Okay. Any other questions on that? Okay. So now we're going to go through some of the more advanced features when it comes to using the quick search. So on our toolbar at the bottom here, we already discussed the hand. That allows me to click and hold my map to drag it around. We already discussed the zoom in feature. I'm going to go ahead and zoom way in here. Okay. The question just came in about using style. So if I click on add a field to the search, I think what you're looking for are you looking for architecture? Oh, sorry, hang on. I've got multiple back condominium on here as well. Let me get rid of that. There we go. So yeah, so if you click on type, it gives you this type of information. If you're looking for style, that gives you the 1-story, 2-story. And if you're looking for a specific architectural style, such as like a ranch, I can type in architecture and that's going to give me ranch, or I can just type in the word ranch and it's going to give me that option. And then again, to edit, I'm just going to go ahead and click right on it, and then it appears in my search. Okay, so I'm zooming in to my locations here to show you what our next feature is. So the next one on our toolbar here is the blue circle with the white eye. This is parcel information. So if I click on parcel information to highlight it, and then single left click on that parcel, it gives us the lot dimensions of the property all the way around. It's going to give us this pop-up balloon that has the property address, the wire data tax link, the monsoon tax link, the acreage if it's available in the system, and then it gives us a picture of the property from the last time it was listed. And then it gives us the previous listing history for that property. If I wanted to go to any of those data sheets, I could go ahead and click right on the MLS number and go directly to that listing. The next tool we have is our measurement tool. This can be useful if you're doing like a broker price opinion, or if there's like a park nearby and you want to see exactly how far from that subject property it is to that other location. If you click on the measuring tool and click on your starting point, taking your finger off the mouse button, if you drag your mouse to your next location, you'll notice that it has segment and total. So segment is going to be whatever the last straight piece you drew out was, and then total is going to be an accumulation of all those. So when I get to my next spot, I'm just going to click. You can see the segment dropped to 0. And now as I go, you can see them change. Click, change my direction again. And then once I got out to miles, it actually the total would convert to miles for me. When I'm done with that, I'm just going to go ahead, click on my hand to get rid of the drawing tool, or the measurement tool. The last 3 options down here are the different drawing tools. So the first is a rectangle. I'm going to go ahead, click on my starting point, single left click, and drag my shape out to where I want it to be. Again, taking my finger off the mouse button. Anytime we're drawing shapes in the system, we're going to click and then take our finger off the mouse button. We're going to drag it out here. If I'm happy with this shape, I'm going to double left click. That tells the system that I'm done drawing. It turns this darker blue color. And on the left-hand side, you'll see it says shape, and then it has rectangle. And if I hover over the word rectangle, it turns it yellow on my screen. That way, if I have multiple shapes drawn out, I can see which is which. And if I want to get rid of the shape, just the left-hand side here, I can use the little X to get rid of the shape. The next shape is the circle. So just like the rectangle drew a rectangle, circle is going to draw a circle. So I'm going to go ahead and click, and this is going to be the middle of my my circle. And as I click, I'm going to take my finger off the mouse again, dragging that circle out, and you'll see on the right-hand side of it, it does show how far from the center point I've gone out. And again, when I'm happy with that, double left click to tell the system that I'm done drawing. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the circle again. The last shape is the one I find most useful, and that is the Polygon tool. This is going to allow us to draw whatever shape we want to. And it's really nice to pair with some of these overlays in this upper right-hand corner. Some overlays work better in different areas than others. The one I'm going to use for the demonstration is this neighborhood maponics. So I'm going to go ahead and click on neighborhood maponics. If you sold properties in Milwaukee before, you know that there's a new neighborhood every couple hundred feet, and some may be more desirable for your customers than others. So when I click on this neighborhood maponics, now when I drag my map around, you'll see that it actually puts these different neighborhoods right on top of my map for me. They're not usable as of now, but what I can do is actually use my Polygon tool to trace around these, save them as an overlay, and then I can go back and reuse them over and over and over again. So I'm going to go ahead and just trace out some of these. I find that if you're trying to do a search for Bayview, using this overlay option is the best way to do that. Bayview is a postal municipality. It is not a taxi municipality. And right now there are, I believe, 44 properties that are listed in the Bayview area, but all of them have Milwaukee listed as their postal municipality. So if you actually go and do a search for postal municipality of Bayview, you get 0 results. But if you go in and actually trace around and save that overlay, you'll see that it's got 40-some listings in there. So we're going to go ahead and just draw out a couple of these shapes. So I'm just going to select my Polygon tool. I'm going to click on my starting point. taking my finger off my mouse button again. I'm going to drag it up. I'm going to left click to tell the system that I'm going on to a new point. Take my finger off, click, finger off, click. And when I'm done with my shape, I'm going to double click to tell the system that I'm done. You'll see it's highlighted that in the dark blue here for me. And on the left-hand side, shapes, polygon. So I'm going to go ahead and actually change the name of this because polygon isn't going to do me too much good, especially if I'm saving this to use later on. If all of them within the file say polygon, 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 it's not going to help me use this later on. So I'm just going to go ahead and single left click inside of the shape. I'm going to get this little balloon that pops up. I'm going to click on edit, and I'm going to go ahead and change the name. So I'm going to call this Triple Park. If I wanted to, I could change the color of it. I'm just going to make it yellow. I'm just going to click off. And now you'll notice on the left-hand side under shapes, instead of saying polygon, it says Triple Park, or however you pronounce that. I'm going to go ahead and draw another one out. I'm going to do River's Edge here. The nice thing about this is you can slowly build these different files over time. So I don't have to go in and draw all these out at once. I've got a file called Milwaukee Area Neighborhoods. Because I can only, when I go back to reuse these overlays, I can only use one overlay file at a time, but I can use as many pieces from within that file as I want to. So if I were to save Trupu Park as its own file and River Edge as its own file, and I wanted to go back and use both of them, I couldn't use them at the same time. But if I had them as part of my Milwaukee Area Neighborhoods overlay, I can go in and select the different pieces from it, and I can keep building that over time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and draw River Edge real quick, and then we'll go through the save. The other thing that's important to remember when you're doing a polygon, and this joke works better in front of a live audience that has, like microphones on, so hopefully I at least see some smirks from people. Everyone hopefully has seen the movie Ghostbusters. I don't care which version of it. It was the same in both. What did you never do with the proton pack streams? Cross the streams. Thank you, Joanne. I see a lot of fingers crossing. It's the same way when you're drawing a polygon. If you cross the stream, you get yelled at and it disappears and you have to start over, which can be very frustrating. So don't cross the streams. I made that joke one time and this lady was looking for a physical stream, like a body of water on the map. And she's like, why can't we cross over streams? And I was like, it took 5 of us to explain it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and draw the shape again. So I'm gonna click on my starting point, again, take my finger off the mouse button, dragging my mouse up to the top, clicking my next spot, taking my finger off, and just clicking my way around. I'm gonna go ahead and screw this shape up so I can show you guys how to adjust this. So I'm gonna go ahead and double click to tell the system that I'm done. So I've gone and drawn out my shape, but I've gone off my line here. I'm gonna go ahead and left click inside of the shape again and click on edit again. I'm gonna rename it. So I'm gonna call it River Edge. Then within this box, I'm gonna click on edit shape. It's gonna bring up my shape with these little orange circles on the outside edges now. So I can go ahead, click and hold as I'm dragging, and I can move these around. So again, I'm gonna click, hold, and drag. Hold and drag. When I'm happy with that shape then, bottom right-hand corner, leave edit shape mode. That takes me back to my main screen. So now that I've got my shapes drawn out, I could go ahead and save this as a subscription email for my customers. It's going to remember that I only want what's drawn inside of those specific shapes to be sent to them. But I'm going to go ahead and save these so I can reuse these later on. So again, I'm just going to left click inside of my shape, click on my edit, and then within this balloon, I'm going to go bottom right-hand corner of it, save to map overlay. Within here, it's going to ask me, do I want to save this as a new overlay or do I want to add it to an existing overlay? So if I'm creating a new overlay, I would just give it whatever file name I wanted to, and then go ahead and do my save. But I'm going to add this to an existing overlay. So I'm going to add to existing overlay. I'm going to grab my Milwaukee Area Neighborhoods. And you'll notice under polygons, only River Edge has the check in it. That's because I clicked in River Edge to do the save. But it's going to show me all of the options for the different polygons that I have on my screen. So if I wanted to save this park as well, I can go ahead, put a checkbox in there, click on save, and at the top of my screen here, overlay has been saved. So now if I want to go in and actually reuse these different shapes, I'm just going to go ahead and click on quick search again just to get a clean map here. So for those of you who have done overlays in the past, you used to come up to overlays and you'd select them from here. They still display here, but if you click on them, they just become a gray blob on your window, and they don't do anything. So now in order to reuse overlays, you're gonna come over to the left-hand side here where it says MLS number, address, or map overlay. I'm gonna click on browse, and these are all the different files that I have for map overlays that I've drawn out. I'm gonna go and click on my Milwaukee area neighborhoods, and you'll see all of these here are all the different pieces that I added to this overlay over time. So I can go ahead and click on the one I want. If I want multiples, again, I'm going to hold down my control key for the PC users, command key for the Mac users. So I'm going to go ahead and select on Bayview and just grab a couple other ones here. Once I'm happy with that, I'm just going to hit enter, and you'll see on the left-hand side now, instead of saying shapes, it's saying Milwaukee area neighborhoods because that's the file it's pulling from, and that's showing each piece of that file. So if I didn't want one, I go ahead and click it off. I could go back, add more in. I could go ahead, draw out some new shapes. Any questions on that part? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and click on quick search again just to get a clean map going. So in the bottom right-hand corner, there is this little red stick pin. If I click on that, it's going to bring up my locate address box. I'm going to go ahead and select the address. That's my home address. It kind of just remembers me. Now that all of you know where I live, if you stop by, bring a bottle of whiskey with you, please. I'm going to click on locate. And it's going to put that red stick pin right on top of my subject property for me. If I wanted to do a radius search, I can do that right from this pop-up balloon. So if I click on radius search, the default is 1 mile, but I can set whatever distance I want to. I find this really useful if you're doing like a CMA and you want to get properties as close to that subject property as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and just click on create radius. I don't have any other criteria in right now other than it's single family active within 1 mile of our subject property here. Let's say I got my results 16. Okay, maybe I want more results than that. I can go ahead, click right back on my stick pin, and click on radius search again and create a second radius. So let's just see what 2 miles looks like. So I clicked in 2 miles, create radius, and that takes us to 54 properties. And again, if I want to get rid of one of my circles, I can hover over to see which is which, and then use my little X to get rid of the one I no longer want. While we're on this screen, I'm going to show you how to use the contingent field. So contingent are those active with offer properties. As all of you know from being out in the market, there are a lot of properties that are active with offer, and you may want to remove those from your search criteria. So to do that, I'm just going to click on the with offer, and this is where if you are an English teacher or just like a linguistic type person, this is going to drive you crazy. So right now it says contingent of with offer. So that's basically saying that it's only giving us properties that are active with offer. So to get rid of those active with offer properties, I'm going to click on of and change it to not of. So contingent not of with offer is going to remove all those active with offers. And if I click on my results here, it's going to give me just those active properties that do not have offers associated with them. Okay, keep in mind too, nothing up here has changed for you. So when you go and do a save, set up email subscriptions, all that, all of this works exactly the same as it did. Okay, we'll go back to edit search. And so just keep in mind too, view results is right here. That takes us to the screen we were just on. Another feature I really like about this stick pin is you may encounter a situation where someone wants to be within a certain distance of multiple locations. It can be very common, especially when it comes to healthcare workers that may be working at multiple clinics or hospitals. The system actually can help you determine the area that's going to be right for them. So I'm just going to click on quick search just to get rid of all of my criteria. So again, I'm going to use my little red stick pin. I'm going to click on that, type in my first starting point, which is 11430 West North Avenue, Wauwatosa, Wisconsin. And as long as you type in the municipality and state abbreviation, you do not need to type in the zip code. I'm going to click on locate, and I'm going to do my radius search. So radius search, I'm just going to change this to say 5 miles, create radius. So I know anything within this circle is going to work for whatever this location is. I'm going to go ahead and add in my second location. So I'm going to do another stick pin, 6840 North 107th Street, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Click on locate, and I'm going to do the same thing. Radius search, change that to 5 miles. Create radius. So as the system thinks here, I know that anything in this bottom circle is going to work for the 5 miles from this point. Anything in this top circle is going to work for 5 miles from this point. But the only thing that's going to work for both locations is this intersecting area right here. On the left-hand side under shapes, the default is within. So it's giving us everything that is within whatever shapes we drew out. But if I click on within and change it to intersection, it's going to rethink and only give me results for this overlapping area here. In a few seconds, you'll see the rest of the blue house or greenhouses go away. There we go. So now it's only giving us what's going to be within 5 miles of both of our locations. And if I go ahead and save this as a subscription email, Marietta, did you, bottom right-hand corner, do you have the little red stick pin here? Go wait for her to respond. I'll keep going. So I could go ahead and say this as a subscription email for my customer, and it's only going to look at what's in that intersecting area. I'm going to go ahead and clear out one more time here. So you may be working with a customer too that wants to be within a certain municipality, but doesn't want to be in a certain part of that municipality. I'm going to go ahead and use the example. Okay, good, Marietta. I'm going to go ahead and select municipality of Wauwatosa. So I click on Wauwatosa. It's going to give me everything within Wauwatosa. But maybe this customer doesn't want to be along the freeways. So I can go ahead and use that Polygon tool to basically just kind of draw my way around the freeway. So we saw that the default up here next to shape is within. If I click it one time, it goes to intersection. And if I click it one more time, it goes to not within. So now it's going to exclude anything from the shape I drew out. So it's remembering that I want to search Wauwatosa, and it's also remembering that I want to get rid of this area. So now it removed any properties that were within that corridor and still gave me the rest of my results. So we have the within, the intersection, and the not within. And it also does have these little information circles on it. So it kind of tells you once you hover over it what the different options are going to be for you for that. Same thing with drawing. It kind of walks you through how to do the rectangle, circle, and polygon. And up here, this one's going to give you a link to different training materials for the quick search. Okay. What questions do we have? That is pretty much quick search in a nutshell. If you have a question, feel free to unmute yourself. Joanne, are you a mime in a box? Is that what's going on?
I'm in a nutshell.
Oh, okay.
You remember the Austin Powers?
I guess I didn't know what you meant by subscription email.
Yep. So subscription email, when you do a search for your customer and then you set up that automatic email drip, that's a subscription.
So how do I get a copy of the tape of this program?
So there's a few options for you. I did save it to the cloud. So since Erin set it up, she should be able to share it with you guys or post it on the website. There also are a few other options for you. So if you go to metromls.com and hover over member support, we do have the FlexMLS manuals. Those are basically going to be paper copies on how to do everything. So if you like to read and then do, that's a good option for you. We also have this video library, which basically is a recorded videos very similar to this one that kind of walks you through. Oh, thank you, Andrew. That allows you to kind of watch, pause, kind of go back, all those sorts of things. Then we also do have recorded webinars that you can go through and watch that cover quick search as well. So there are a lot of training options for you. You have just under a month to kind of get used to quick search. It does go away on November 18th. You won't have to worry about redoing any of your searches. The system doesn't care where you started the search from. It only cares what the criteria is behind the scenes. So the only thing you'll notice is one day you wake up, go to log in, and full search will be gone. So Mike did ask a question about excluding active with offers. Andrew answered it, but I will go through it one more time just so everyone's clear on it. So again, contingent here. I'm just going to click the with offer. So it highlights the with offer in blue. It puts the checkbox in here, and then I'm just going to click on of to change it to not of with offer. And at that point, it will remove all of our active with offer properties. Anything else?
So I don't have a question, Jared, but I just have a comment to share with everybody. So one of the things that I did was I took the full search off of my menu bar, and I am just forcing myself to use the quick search. And it has really helped since going, after listening to your last presentation, and now this time it did make more sense. So I, recommend that to everybody. Also, I'm wondering if you can share these slides with Aaron so that if anybody does want them, I guess, no, this is just a recording. They're not actually slides. Never mind.
Yeah, but she will have a copy of this so that she can post it somewhere and you guys can watch it again at your leisure. So it's not as foreboding as I think a lot of people are making it out to be in their heads. I know change is difficult, but just keep in mind the main thing is your main fields are going to be on your left hand menu tree, and if you want to add additional fields, just go to this add a field to the search and just start typing what you're looking for. Or again, if you use a field constantly that's not part of this, go ahead and create that template for yourself. It'll be there for you every time then, so you don't have to go in and add things. So I'm not hearing any other questions. If I can be of help during you getting used to this, please let me know. Office number here is 414-778-5400, or you can also send me an email. That address is Jared, Jared, @metromls.com. All right, Aaron, I'm giving you back control.
Thanks, Jared. I guess that's it. So I'll go ahead and post the link on the private Facebook page. Stop me. And then also email that out.
Yep, I did just stop the video and I made you host again. You're all very welcome. Hopefully that was helpful.
Thanks, Jared.
You're welcome. Have a great day, guys.
Great. Have a good weekend.
You too, thanks.